Man, something about this weekend didn't sit right, like at all. It had that feeling NASCAR gives you sometimes, when everything looks normal on the surface, but deep down, you know it's not. Like, something bigger is starting to move behind the scenes, and nobody's saying it out loud yet. Because yeah, if you just glanced at it, it looked like a typical Bristol weekend. Chaos, tempers, mistakes, the usual short-track madness. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? But the second you start looking closer, really looking, things stop adding up. And this is where it gets interesting, because there are two stories coming out of this race. Not one, two. And they hit completely different, but somehow feel connected. One of them could quietly change how you see NASCAR penalties this entire season. And the other? The other is building tension that feels like it's about to spill over. And if you've been watching this sport long enough, you already know what that usually means. But hold on, because before we get into all that, if you're the type of fan who actually pays attention to the details, the patterns, the stuff most people miss, go ahead, hit like and subscribe. This channel is just getting started, and we're chasing 15,000 subs with real NASCAR fans who see what's really going on. All right, now here's where things start to shift. Let's talk about what actually happened at Bristol Motor Speedway. Not the version you saw on TV, the other version, the one underneath it. Because on paper, clean race, nothing major. But behind the scenes, it was anything but clean. Right after the race, two names immediately stood out, Kyle Larson and Tyler Reddick. Both cars sent straight to NASCAR's R&D Center in Concord. And if you've been around this sport, you already feel it when you hear that. Sometimes it's routine, sure, but other times, it means NASCAR saw something, or thought they did, or maybe they're just watching closer than usual. And both of those drivers have been fast, really fast. So naturally, fans started asking questions. But here's the twist, and this is important. After a full teardown, nothing, no issues, no violations, both cars completely cleared, clean. So officially, everything's fine. But that's not even where this starts, because the race hadn't even begun, and things were already messy. Pre-race inspection has been a problem all season, and Bristol just made it worse. 5 teams hit with penalties: Larson, McDowell, Chastain, Custer, Fincham. Most of them lost their car chiefs before the green flag even dropped. And at Bristol, that's brutal. Track position there isn't important, it's everything. So before the race even started, some teams were already behind. And then during the race, it didn't calm down, it escalated. Penalties started stacking. Fast. Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, John Hunter Nemechek, Tyler Reddick, Brad Keselowski, all caught speeding on pit road. And that's not even all of it. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. hit with a safety violation. McDowell again. Too many crew members over the wall. Zane Smith, equipment interference. So what looked clean really wasn't. And then, over in the Truck Series, things got even more personal. Christian Eckes, Corey Heim, late race, contact. And not just any contact. If you remember their history from 2024, you already know there's tension there. Eckes clips him, sends him into the wall. And immediately, fans start asking the question nobody can agree on. Was it intentional? NASCAR talks to him, and then nothing. No penalty. So, officially, no major punishments across the weekend. But when you step back and look at everything together, inspections, penalties, incidents, it starts to feel like NASCAR wasn't just officiating. They were watching, closely. And that leads straight into the second story. Because this is where things actually take a turn. One of those penalties didn't just hurt, it changed everything for Tyler Reddick. And after the race, he didn't hold back. He straight up said it. That speeding penalty on pit road ruined his race. And if you understand Bristol, you felt that immediately. One mistake there, and you're done. Before the penalty, he had speed, real speed, running near the front, a contender. After it, buried in traffic, lost track position, stuck. And at Bristol, once you're back there, you don't come back. You lose rhythm, you lose control of the race, and just like that, it's gone. But here's where it gets uncomfortable, because he didn't just talk about the penalty. He talked about NASCAR. He pointed out something that a lot of people have been thinking, but not saying. 4 wins in the last 7 races, and suddenly, his team is getting a lot more attention. More inspections, more scrutiny, week after week. And yeah, he said he understands NASCAR is doing its job. But then he added something else, that it's starting to feel excessive. And that's a heavy word. He even hinted that when a team gets hot like this, things change. That sometimes it feels like NASCAR might be trying to level things out. Now, think about that for a second, because that's not frustration anymore. That's doubt creeping in. And after Bristol, his car gets sent to R&D again. And again, nothing. Clean. Every single time. So from the outside, totally legal, no problem. But from inside the car, you can feel the pressure building. Because imagine this. You're winning. You've got momentum. Everything's clicking. But every week, inspections, questions, attention. Then a penalty hits and wipes out your race. Even if everything is technically fair, it starts to feel like it's all stacking up. And now, this isn't just about speed anymore. This is about tension. Because Reddick isn't just fast right now. He's becoming the story, on the track and off it. And this is the kind of situation that can change a season. So now the question shifts. Is NASCAR just doing its job? Or are certain teams being watched differently? And this is where fans like us get pulled in. Because you can feel both sides. You can believe NASCAR is enforcing the rules correctly, and still feel like something's off. Personally, I think both things are true. NASCAR is doing its job. But the pattern is hard to ignore. When a driver starts winning like that, they always get attention. That's history. Every dominant car goes through it. But here's the part nobody can explain away. Even with all that attention, all those inspections, multiple trips to R&D, they keep coming back clean every time. So what does that tell you? Because on the penalty side, especially that speeding call, it's black and white. No debate. You're over or you're not. And at Bristol, that mistake is devastating. But when you combine that with everything else, the inspections, the pressure, the timing, it starts to feel heavier than it should. And that's what makes this so real. Because this isn't simple. This is layered. Both sides can be right and still feel wrong at the same time. And zoom out for a second, all the penalties, all the inspection issues, the constant monitoring. It feels like NASCAR has tightened everything this season. Margins are smaller, mistakes cost more, and drivers are starting to feel it. So no, nothing illegal is happening. But the intensity? It's higher than it's been in a long time. And if Reddick keeps performing like this tension isn't going away. It's going to grow, especially as we get closer to the playoffs. And that's when things could really break open. So now I've got to ask you, do you think NASCAR is just doing its job? Or does it feel like certain teams are under a different kind of spotlight? Because after everything we just saw, this doesn't feel like the end of the story. It feels like the beginning of something. Bristol looked normal, but underneath it, inspections, penalties, frustration, pressure, and one of the hottest drivers in the sport. Starting to question it all, even after being cleared. So the real question isn't what happened, it's what happens next. Because if this keeps building, if the inspections continue, if drivers keep speaking out, this season could turn into something way bigger than we expected. And you already know, we're going to be watching every second of it.